Good afternoon from the 104.5 The Zone studios. I'm Ross Johnston. In Titans news, the team released their first injury report for Week 2 yesterday, which had multiple names on it, including Quandre Diggs, J.C. Latham, Khalil Mullings, and Tavondre Sweat, who did not practice, as well as Arden Key, L'Jarius Sneed, and Kevin Winston Jr., who were limited. In Vols news, the team's first injury report came out, which listed offensive tackle David Sanders Jr. and defensive lineman Jackson Moy as questionable for the Georgia game. In NFL news, the San Francisco 49ers will be without quarterback Brock Purdy, as he is expected to miss 2 to 5 weeks with a form of turf toe, as reported by Ian Rappaport. The Dallas Cowboys will be without cornerback Deron Bland, who recently signed a 4-year, $92 million extension, as he suffered a foot injury in practice on Monday that could keep him out for a couple of weeks. The Los Angeles Chargers made a move by releasing wide receiver Jalen Reagor, who is a first-round pick by the Eagles in the 2020 draft. And finally, Buccaneers wide receiver Chris Godwin practiced for the first time today since dislocating his ankle last season. And Judy Batista reports he will still not play until October, but this marks a significant step in his recovery. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once in your home for the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Door. 615-737-1045 is the number. We have a poll up at Blaine and Zach, the Cover 2 official Twitter account. Ross, can you tell everybody what the poll is and why they need to go vote?
The poll is about which Titans player needs to bounce back the most this week, and Blaine gave us 4 great submissions with Jarvis Brownlee, Calvin Ridley, Dan Moore, and who was it? Tavondre Sweat?
L'Jarius Sneed.
Yeah, because a lot of people saying, why was he on the list? Well,
I think it's because, I assumed,
exactly.
is that, hey, he only played 20-something snaps. They were good snaps, but a rebound doesn't have to be because of a bad performance.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. As well as we don't have 5 options, but, Mr. Callahan could have been up there.
Yeah, Callahan.
Head coach Callahan.
A lot of people probably just put that in the replies anyway, so go vote for that because we're going to talk about that later when we preview the NFL. The Titans versus Rams. But also today we're going to have Chris Phillips in. He hosts SEC Unfiltered, a podcast and YouTube video show. He'll join us to kind of go around the SEC, but mainly cover the Georgia-Texas game. And but I wanted to start with the discussion, I guess, that was being had on the Buck Rising show. Because Lucas came in to, when we're waiting for their show to end, says, where would y'all rank Jason Witten? He has to be top 3 tight end of all time. And we looked at him like he was crazy. I mean, there was at least 5 of us in that production room, and then we started naming off all these other tight ends, and then he's like, well, top 5 at worst. And I'm like, I don't know about that one either.
I don't know about that. Yeah, Hall of Famer for sure. But
for sure.
Yeah, top 5 was, I was like, ooh, I don't know, man. Maybe it's some tight ends you don't know of. But I think he's probably got a shot at top 15.
I mean, because you look at guys like that played in the early years, like Ozzie Newsome, Jackie Smith, and then you got Kellen Winslow,
a senior,
yeah, Raymond Chester back in the day. Then you got guys like Antonio Gage, Travis Kelce, Rob Gronkowski, Greg Olson. I'm not saying that all these guys are Tony Gonzalez. They're not all above Jason Witten, Shannon Sharp. Jimmy Graham has a good case to be considered one of the best tight ends. And Zach Ertz right now is still rolling and is rolling up. If you look at Zach Ertz right now, 8,114 yards. He has 3 Pro Bowls to his name. And in the approximate value, which is something that is kind of like a Hall of Fame tracker for college or Pro Football Reference, he's got the 12th highest. Oh. So, I mean, don't sleep on Zach Ertz. And now, again, I'm not saying that he's better than Witten, but I'm just saying there are other names to consider. Todd Heap is a good one. Frank Wycheck was brought up in the chat. Mercedes Lewis.
Delaney
Walker. I mean, Dallas Clark. And that's a guy that we didn't even name that I thought was a good one to put out there.
Yeah, he was a little bit of a...
But I was just like, let's slow down just a tad bit on Jason Witten top 3. Now, I'm sure there's an argument to be had. I mean, he has, 11 Pro Bowls and 4 All-Pros, if I'm not mistaken.
He played, how many years? We were, stunned by that.
Yeah, he played from
16?
2003 to 2020.
Dang, that's a long time.
That's a long time. A long time.
Was that 18 years or so?
Yeah, I mean, that's insane. Now, he averaged his yards per game over that time is 14th highest. Currently, guys like players that were elected to the Pro Bowl, tight ends like TJ Hawkinson ranks a little bit higher. Now, obviously, again, I'm not saying that TJ Hawkinson is better than Jason Witten, but I'm just saying, guys like that, Sam Laporta, those guys are on their way, maybe. Brock Bowers right now, 72.1 yards per game.
Yeah. Well, I can't have conversations about guys that only been in the league 2 years.
I'm just saying that's just kind of crazy.
On track. Yeah. And it's a throwing league, so it's a little bit different. And Jason Witten kind of hit in the middle of all of that, so he was getting a little of everything. So yeah, he's a Hall of Fame player for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
When you start getting the top 10, then it becomes a conversation of which one is he better than?
Because who are you knocking out? That's the big thing.
But yeah, he'll get in. I mean, so no big deal. But when he said top 3,
he came in there and said top 3, and we just started naming names. He said,
"Am I just wearing my orange colored glasses? Maybe top 5." I say, "Ooh, I don't know, man. Top 10 for sure."
I mean, that was a wild statement. I was very surprised because you start getting into guys like Jimmy Graham and Antonio Gates when you're talking about Jason Witten. Like Jimmy Graham, he played from 2010 to 2023. He has 5 Pro Bowls to his name. He had 8,545 yards, but averaged per game. Where is it at? I just missed it. 43.4. But you look at his touchdowns. They had 89 touchdowns.
Yeah, I think that's where he beat Witten by. In less years,
15 touchdowns.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah. I would say I just don't think there's any room for him in the top 5. I think I would probably put him in somewhere inside the top 10.
Yeah.
It would be tough. Man, when Lucas came in, that was wild.
No, he's not top 5. Hey, I get
it. And listen, there were UT fans in there that thought he was crazy too. So this isn't anti-UT bias on our end.
That definitely was not the case. Yeah, well-respected Hall of Fame player, but top 5 of all time?
Yeah. Now, what did Buck say about Jason Witten, Ross?
I believe he might have said he wouldn't put him in the Hall of Fame. So
see, that's just the other.
Did he say that?
He did. And he said, you know what his reasoning was? He had one playoff win. I said, so we're knocking tight ends for playoff wins? Sorry, Jason.
Is that true?
Sorry, Jason Witten couldn't backpack the Cowboys to more playoff
wins.
But also, is that actually true? Did anybody fact check that?
Maybe that was.
But also, I mean, that's kind of a crazy thing to put on a tight end. By the way, yeah. Oh no, he had two playoff wins. Okay, but also that's really a crazy thing to use for a tight end as a measuring stick of whether they should be in the Hall of Fame or not. Playoff wins for a tight end? What is the world coming to on these sports shows? Playoffs? That's kind of crazy. The SEC has so many games this week to cover, and I'm glad that we're going to have someone that's going to help us cover a lot of these games. But let me ask you this, Blaine. Is this the best time to face Georgia if you're the University of Tennessee? Because Gunnar Stockton isn't being allowed to do a lot, and that offense isn't looking that great or as explosive as it has been or as way up there for Georgia standards. It's still winning games, but Tennessee's coming in, and it's at home. This is Gunnar Stockton's first on-the-road SEC game. Is this the best chance that Josh Heupel and the University of Tennessee has to take down Georgia this weekend?
Well, it's easy to say that, and I actually kind of want to buy into that a little bit, but everything makes me say stop.
Yeah.
And when I say stop, who did they play last week? Austin Peay.
Yeah.
The Govs. And the Govs gave them a battle. Well, guess what? Luckily, they're not at home. I'm glad they're on the road. They got to feel the road crowd, but they are going to be pissed off for greatness. And Kirby Smart is the ultimate mind convincer of motivation. I mean, right now, man. So, talent-wise, yeah, probably. Probably
Yeah.
so. But hey, man, whatever reason, Georgia, I think has beaten them 8 straight, 13 of the last 15, as I recall reading, and all 4 of Heupel's for his 4 seasons. So
There's a little bit. There's that weird thing,
and I think they've only averaged somewhere around below 20.
Yeah.
It's below 20. So they always say we got better cats than your cats. Yeah. I jokingly say that because they just say mano y mano, let's just play man to man and then let it be. So that's what they do. So I don't know if they have enough talent to do that. Just I haven't watched Georgia play at all besides highlights.
Gotcha. I mean, for the most part, what I've watched from Georgia, and I didn't watch the Austin Peay game. I watched their first game. They looked fine, but they didn't look like the same kind of Georgia team. And maybe they're just finding an identity right now. They're kind of in search of who they are with Gunnar Stockton behind the helm. But I kind of look at this University of Tennessee team, and I do find it interesting the amount of people that have came out since talking about the Syracuse win and how now the Syracuse win in hindsight doesn't look as good or look as really worthy. But I look at what I saw in the game from University of Tennessee. I'm like, I don't know. This is still whether Syracuse is a worthy opponent as what they were last year and just a shell of what they were last year. I don't know. University of Tennessee still looked good. Now they need some key pieces to get healthy. And maybe that's where Georgia can take advantage of it because David Sanders is on the injury report right now, the tackle that
Has he even played this year? He didn't play last week against Austin.
No,
right?
he hasn't played this year.
Oh, yeah, throw him out there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
So,
put him at that right tackle right now.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what I would do. Like, I would maybe say, okay, David Sanders, maybe this isn't the time to put you out there.
Well, he was like a surprise unhealthy that was announced like an hour before the opener.
Yeah.
And then you kind of understand him sitting out versus ETSU, but to think about your first career start being against Georgia, man.
Oh, I think this is perfect. Absolutely. You got to throw him out there if he's healthy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You got the big 5-star, got the big dough. Now you're healthy. Let's show him.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about this when we come back with Chris Phillips of SEC Unfiltered. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone.
Listen up, Nashville. Dollar Shave Club just sharpened their shaving blades and juiced up for their lube strip, all while keeping the price tag the same. To celebrate their best razor ever, they're hitting the road and they're looking for the best at some parlor games in each city along the way. And they will be at Bridgestone Arena Pavilion from 1 to 8 p.m. this Saturday. And you can find me there, of course, there at 2 to 4. Yeah, I'll be there 2 to 4, so come check me out. So let's see if you got what it takes to beat me in some cornhole, toss, kick, throw competition. And the top scorer during the DSC time in Nashville scores 2 tickets to the Predators home opener. Yes, and don't be dull but with your blade. Show up and show out. So bring the family to test your skills in a series of games in a Dollar Shave Club way. And we all know even soccer darts are going to be out there as well. So all you need to do is just go to DSC2025tour.com. That's DSC2025tour.com. Attendance is completely free, so can't wait to see you there.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Door. 615-737-1045 is the number. And we're going to go around SEC with Chris Phillips, who is the founder and host of SEC Unfiltered, which you can go get wherever you get your podcasts and YouTube, and currently doing an SEC University tour as well. And they're going to be in Knoxville for Georgia versus Tennessee. And Chris, I guess we'll just start right there. With Gunnar Stockton getting his first major road test in an SEC showdown, how much will the performance of Georgia's new starting quarterback determine whether the Bulldogs win their 9th straight over Tennessee?
Well, Zach and Blaine, first off, appreciate you having me on. It's truly an honor to be chatting with you guys. Yeah, excited to get to Knoxville. You know, Rocky Top's going to show up, show out. Was there last year, actually my first time ever for the Tennessee-Bama game. So kneeling loud is a real thing. I know they're going to try to pull the Vols through and snap a streak that's been going on since, 2017. I think it's more so the magic number for me is 17. I know you mentioned Gunnar Stockton offensively for them. That's their big question. They've looked okay. They were sluggish last week against Austin Peay, but they've looked okay. Gunnar Stockton's done some good things, done some not so good things. It's been kind of a mixed bag for them. But I look more at the Tennessee offense because, again, the magic number for me is 17. Tennessee's never scored more than 17 points against Kirby Smart. You're going to have to do that on Saturday to have a chance. But yeah, I mean, listen, I think with this home crowd, I think with the relentless defensive line, I love the front seven that Tennessee features. I think you're going to have to get after Gunnar Stockton. For Georgia, the key, though, is run the football, right? Because if you can get Gunnar in some third and longs, get him in some uncomfortable situations, even with the guys you're missing out on the edges, I think that's going to be a really advantageous position for you to get the football off of them. And, you need to force some turnovers. Obviously, the keys to football don't really change on a week-in, week-out basis. But certainly quarterback play is a big story in this game. We don't know much about Gunnar Stockton in a spot like this. Heck, we don't know a lot about Joey Aguilar in a spot like this. So there's a lot of things, including that make this matchup fascinating on Saturday.
So with that said, is this the University of Tennessee's best chance under Josh Heupel to take down Georgia? I mean, you got a guy that we don't know much about in Gunnar Stockton, a Georgia team that kind of was in a tussle with Austin Peay over the weekend, coming into Knoxville on your home turf. Is this the best chance that Josh Heupel and Georgia have had, or Tennessee have had, to take on Georgia so far?
I think because of the questions Georgia has, yes. And I think because the fact you get them at home, obviously. I mean, anytime you're getting and we've seen Gunnar before. I think Gunnar Stockton's a warrior. He's a gamer. For a guy to take a hit like he did against Texas in the SEC title and just pop up like nothing happened and look at his guys and say, hey, I got you. Like that says a lot about a kid. I thought he played well in the Notre Dame game, obviously in the bowl game. There was some growth to be had and some things, talking to folks down there in Athens and understanding the offense perspective from just an accuracy in the passing game perspective. But, the kid's a warrior, and I think Kirby Smart trusts him because he doesn't turn the football over. But I think from the standpoint, because you think about like that Hendon Hooker team, and you're like, I mean, that team was really, really special. And this one might be too. We don't know, right? This game is so much earlier in the season than it normally is. But that team was so special, but Georgia was a different Georgia at that point as well. So, it's not a cop-out answer, but I think we're going to find out as the season goes, was this really Tennessee's best chance? Because, guys, I'm not convinced Georgia isn't still Georgia. I trust Kirby Smart. I know there's questions on the offensive side, but, while we say that, the wide receiver room is vastly better than it was last year. Your tight end room is still one of the best in college football. I think they've got a pretty deep stable of backs that are really solid. There's just a lot of unknowns for this Dogs team from a star power standpoint. Defensively, it's, tomorrow's NFL draft picks. You just haven't heard about them yet. So I think this Georgia team could still be really, really good. But, yeah, I think with the way the game sets up, the fact Georgia's got a question mark at the most important position in the sport, I do think you could argue this is their best shot. But again, it comes back to me to the offensive side. I trust that Tennessee's defense will play well, but just offensively, what are you getting out of Joey Aguilar? Can you win that battle in the trenches for 60 minutes? That's where the Dogs have dominated you. And again, you'd like to look at it being in Knoxville and Rocky Top as a huge advantage. But Kirby Smart and company have, kind of had their way with you when they come up there. So listen, this is a different year. Streaks are made to be broken. And one of my bold predictions for the season is that Georgia's got a couple of historically long win streaks in rivalry games against Tennessee, Auburn, Florida, Georgia Tech. I think one of those at least is coming to an end this season. It very well could be this one.
Well, how do you view the Syracuse win? I've seen a few people say that the Syracuse win doesn't really say as much as you thought it would because they barely beat UConn and they had to do it in overtime. Is that revisionist history about that Syracuse win? Because I thought Tennessee looked pretty good in it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't take anything away. It's a season opener. It's a Syracuse team that lost a ton from a season ago, although I got a lot of respect for Fran Brown. I think he's a heck of a coach there for the Orange. But you don't necessarily draw conclusions from it, but I don't think you take away, like, listen, I don't care who you're playing in that first game. It's hard to go out there and win an opener, right? Half the country's 0-1. Go ask some of these other folks out there about how their week ones went. So, I don't downplay the victory or diminish it. Does it equate that Joey Aguilar is going to do that against Georgia's defense? Not necessarily, but I don't think you can also completely write it off, right? So, it's not an A plus B equals C conversation. We all know the transitive property in college football just does not seem to work the way that we think it should. And so, but I don't diminish that. I was really impressed, guys, with the way Joey looked and the offense looked, how balanced you were. I mean, that was peak Josh Heupel, right? 50-50 run pass in regards to yardage gained. And I just think the confidence that Joey Aguilar played with, some of his big play guys around him having a big day. Again, does it mean Tennessee's going 11-1 and they're winning the SEC title and winning the national title? Not necessarily, but again, don't write it off as it's meaningless because, again, the way they looked with all the questions around quarterback, and I think through 2 weeks, I feel pretty confident in saying Tennessee upgraded at the quarterback position based off of what they lost last year to who they have under center this year. So, yeah, good win. Take it for what it's worth. But this is the real test, I think, on Saturday.
We're talking Tennessee and Georgia and, of course, the rest of the SEC with Chris Phillips of SEC Unfiltered.
Well, Chris, listen to all of that, man, and you made me a believer there. Do you think Tennessee is going to be a playoff team this year after what you've seen so far?
That is a great question. I think they've got a schedule conducive to it. I'll be totally honest with you guys, and listen, Vol fans have given me tons of crap for this over the last few months, and probably deservedly so. I wasn't a believer in Joey Aguilar. I watched the kid at App State last year. I actually saw him in person last year in Boone, and there were some things that concerned me. He's a gunslinger. We all know that, but now that you've seen him in person, it's like he does bring this exciting wrinkle to the offense. If there's anybody I trust with quarterbacks to get the most out of the kid, it is Josh Heupel, right? He's got more weapons around him. He's got a run game to support him. He didn't have a lot of help last year at Appalachian State. So with that being said, though, even with some of the quote-unquote pessimism that I had over the summer and some of the doubt that I had, guys, I still had Tennessee going 8-4. Like, it's not like I had them completely falling off a cliff. I think Josh has raised the floor of this program tremendously. I mean, you think about what he's done. I still don't think he gets enough credit for what he inherited and where he's gotten this program to this point. I know Tennessee fans have really high expectations. We all want it to feel like 98 again, but realistically, like, he's done a really good job of getting this program back to a level of not just respectability, but they're a real threat in the SEC every year. But to answer your question, yeah, I mean, I think Tennessee absolutely could make the college football playoff. I mean, it's a long way to go, but especially if you get this one, you're kind of playing ahead of the sticks, if you will. Like you have bought yourself, if you can avoid that uh-oh game, which I think you could say for everybody in the SEC, right? We know the road woes have given Josh Heupel trouble. Like, don't trip up at Mississippi State, right? Don't trip up. You got Alabama. That's going to be a tough one. I know Bama looked like crap in week one, and I get it, but still got a lot of talent, right? So that's going to be a challenging game for you. But, I mean, outside of that, guys, you got to go to Kentucky. All you do is beat Kentucky. And you got to go to Florida. And at this point, I don't know if Billy Napier is even going to be the head coach by the time you go down to the Swamp, speaking of streaks that are meant to be broken. So I think absolutely this team is flirting with a college football playoff appearance either way, whether they win Saturday or not. Mm-hmm. But you beat Georgia, guys. I think we got to start having a much different conversation about the Tennessee Vols and the way they fit into this picture in 2025.
Well, let's talk about the players real quick. You talked about Gunnar Stockton and Tennessee's maybe starting, from what I'm hearing, some young cornerbacks, at least at Tennessee anyway. How do you see that matching up with their receivers? Because I don't know anything about the wide receivers. I know they've upgraded there at Georgia, but do you think the secondary will be able to handle those new weapons?
I think every secondary is made look really good by a good pass rush. So I think that's no doubt. This way. I think if you're giving any quarterback obviously 5-6 seconds back there in the pocket, it's going to be a pretty long day for you, right? So you need the front seven. You need the front seven to hold their own, to get after Gunnar Stockton, get him outside of the pocket, make him make plays on the run, which he can do, because I do like the matchup when it comes to Georgia's wide receivers. Zachariah Branch, I think, is a real dude. Colby Young, who's back from obviously all that off-field stuff, that whatever, he's back. I think he's a really good player. Dylan Bell. They are much, much better on the outside. Like, I don't even think it's even close. And again, you think about the tight end position with Oscar Delp and Lawson Lucky and those guys. So that presents another challenge for you. But, yeah, I think you got to look at a guy like Joshua Josephs off the edge, who, again, talking to Tennessee folks in the preseason, they thought he might be better than James Pierce, and which is some really high praise, because James Pierce is one of the most feared edge guys in the SEC. Dominic Bailey, those guys. Like, you got to be able to get after the quarterback, make things happen. But, again, for those youngsters on the outside, I mean, what an opportunity. That's why you come to Tennessee, man. That's why you go to an SEC school. You're getting your chance. You know, it's who knows, by the end of the game, maybe we're talking about those guys and they're the stars of the game on the outside. I do like the matchup for Georgia at the wide receiver position, but again, that's going to be dictated so much by how does Tennessee stop the run game and how do they get off Gunnar Stockton and put him in some uncomfortable positions. Guys, I don't know if y'all have noticed, I'm sure you have, but the theme early on in this college football season and the theme of the SEC Unfiltered Tour y'all were talking about the first 2 weeks, I've been to Columbus and I've been to Norman. What's been the theme of those two games? Young quarterbacks struggling on the road. So I think that's what you got to look at if you're Tennessee and say, hey, we got to come after him. Obviously, we can't let Georgia run it down our throat. That's where the tone's set for the Dogs. But we've got to get him in some uncomfortable positions. And if he beats you, you tip your cap, but you can't just let him sit back there and pick you apart, because Georgia does have the weapons to make it happen.
After 2 weeks, give me your top 5 in the SEC quarterbacks. Supposed to be a down year in quarterbacks.
SEC quarterbacks. That is such a tough question because it's, you know, like number one, even like number one for me is difficult, because coming in the season, I had Garrett Nussmeier. I think you could still put him there. I think John Mateer's near the top of my list. I'm going to probably take a cop-out answer and just start naming guys. I think John Mateer's at the top of the list. I wouldn't put Arch in there, admittedly. I mean, I think Joey Aguilar's got to be top 5 right now with the way he's played. Right? There's still so many unknowns, but the way Joey's played, I think you got to put him top 5. Look at a Taylon Green. Again, what's tough about the question, guys, is the level of competition is not equal. So, like, Taylon Green has put up video game numbers, against Alabama, A&M, and Arkansas State. Let's see what he does this weekend against Ole Miss. But, I mean, the way Taylon Green has played, I love his game. Diego Pavia, my goodness. Can we put some respect for the local boy in Nashville?
Oh, he's in your
Come
top
on,
5,
man,
huh?
anchor down. Sorry to all the Vols out there, but we got to put respect on Diego.
All right, well, that's what I need you to answer. Diego or Aguilar, who is ahead of who at quarterback after week 2?
We're really
and then you can go to
get
Zach.
people
I get you real trouble over there.
We are really trying to get people upset on a Thursday right now.
Yes.
I mean, listen, right now, I'm still putting Diego Pavia ahead of Joey Aguilar. Here's the reason, though. I've seen Diego Pavia do it in an entire SEC season.
Yeah,
Joey Aguilar has done some great things to this point. He ain't beaten Alabama. He hadn't beaten Auburn on the road. Like, here's your first opportunity, though. The stage is set, right? Like, it's very close. It's neck and neck, but I just have more proof of concept with Diego Pavia than I have with Joey Aguilar. Again, he scored 70 against East Tennessee State. Congratulations. You beat Syracuse. Awesome. You want my respect? Go do it against Georgia. This is where the respect is earned, man. All that non-conference stuff. Listen, I'm like a big baseball guy. I'm a huge baseball guy. It's like when you're picking on the non-conference guys, stat boosters. But if you hit 200 in SEC play, are you really him? You're not. This is the separation, guys. We just saw Diego Pavia last weekend go into Blacksburg. And I know Va-Tech isn't great, on the road at night and rip the souls out of Virginia Tech. I just have more proof of concept with Diego right now. But that's going to be a heck of a matchup in the season. But, again, it's neck and neck for me. But I got to give Diego the nod, man.
Chris Phillips, SEC Unfiltered.
Well, Chris, we're going to kind of stick with Diego Pavia because you named all these quarterbacks and you didn't name the guy that's going to be across from him on the opposite side of the ball, which is going to be
your guy,
Lenoris Sellers. And Lenoris Sellers in South Carolina played Virginia Tech the opening weekend, 24-11. And you just brought up the performance that Diego Pavia had against Virginia Tech. Here we are. They're meeting each other. What are you thinking about this game? What is kind of up with South Carolina? They had a lot of heat going into the season, and that's kind of died off these last 2 weeks.
Yeah, guys, I will say, because, again, I was just rattling off names there. Marcel Reed, I think, should be in the top 5 conversation for the way he's played over at A&M. And I do think Lenoris Sellers, the problem with him and what scared me so much coming in the season is the lack of help around him. He's a top 5 quarterback. There's no question. But you give any quarterback a paper-thin offensive line, they're going to look mortal really quick. I think that's what has happened to him. And no running game. That's what has happened to him at this point. So you guys were talking about, is this Tennessee's best shot to beat Georgia under Josh Heupel? Guys, Vanderbilt has lost 16 straight games at South Carolina. The last time they beat him was 2008. This might be Vandy's best shot to beat the Gamecocks since 2008, which sounds crazy. I look at this game, again, night game at Williams-Brice Stadium in Columbia. The energy from the fan base has been wild, because South Carolina fans on social media are so down in the dumps. They're so down and out. They're so pessimistic. Vandy fans are on top of the world. They're like, we're coming in ready to kick your face in, and we're going to take the dub. We're ending this streak. I got to go with South Carolina, guys. It's just one of those things. I've watched essentially all of these games. It doesn't matter if South Carolina's elite. It doesn't matter if South Carolina's average. It doesn't matter if they're terrible. Same thing with Vandy. We went through the James Franklin years. I mean, we've gone through some good years of Vandy football, some terrible years of Vandy football, some average years of Vandy football. It's just death taxes, and South Carolina somehow, some way, always finds a way to beat Vandy. Now, it very well could happen Saturday night. I think the Vegas line is really telling, guys. The fact South Carolina's the 11th ranked team in the country. They're at home at night with a guy like Lenoris Sellers, and they're only a 4.5-point favorite. That says a lot about the Doors, man, and the respect that I think Vegas has on the Doors. It's one that I'm going to stay away from in regards to the betting line. I've picked South Carolina. I am fully ready to be wrong. I've even got a wager with some Vandy buddies. I told them straight up, listen, because I doubted Vandy last week in Blacksburg. Pick Virginia Tech, if you can believe that or not. I told them, listen, if Diego proves me wrong for the second straight week, I'm going to head 10 minutes down the road to the West End, get me some Diego Pavia merch or something. We'll rock it on the show, because I got to put some respect on Baba Yaga's name at some point. So, no, listen, it's just it's hard to – it's kind of like when Tennessee beat Alabama. Like, you knew it was possible, but it had been so long that you're kind of like, I don't really know if this is going to, like, ever happen again. So that's where I'm at with this Vandy-South Carolina game. You know, I do think the Gamecocks still are pretty solid on the defensive side, especially, you know, really all 3 levels. I mean, I think the secondary might be the strength of that football team. And then offensively, it comes down to South Carolina, the offensive line. Like, can they block? Can they give some sort of run game, some sort of support? But I'll tell you guys, this duel between Sellers and Pavia is going to be one for the ages. This might be the most fascinating game of week 3. And if there's anybody that can walk into Williams-Brice Stadium and end this drought, in this streak, it is Diego Pavia. I would go to war for that guy. I'm picking the Gamecocks right now, but I will not be surprised at all. Maybe he's the dude. If he ends this streak against South Carolina, guys, they might put a statue of him outside the stadium. They probably already should do it, to be honest with you.
Okay, so got to make some, for the last question, got to make the Big Orange Nation a little happy here. Let's talk about how bad Florida is. Billy Napier going into Death Valley versus LSU. Is there any chance that Florida can really hang in this game against LSU? Because it sounds like, I mean, from what we've seen the last 2 weeks, Billy Napier just seems like a dead man walking.
And not only do I think is there a chance they'll hang in with LSU, I think they will hang in with LSU. This is the Billy Napier experience, though. Mm-hmm. It is a roller coaster, up and down. Just when you think they're dead, they come back to surprise you. And listen, I don't think Billy Napier's the guy. I mean, you lose to South Florida on your home field as a 17.5-point favorite, guys. I don't care how good the Bulls are. I get it. Tip the cap. Byron Brown, Alex Golesh, they are phenomenal. They're great. Probably going to be the G5 playoff representative, but you are the University of Florida. Like, you are the Florida Gators. And to let them come in and beat you in the swamp, at some point, man, the vicious cycle has to stop. But I think they will bounce back. I really do. I think they're going to come out Saturday night and play their best football. Also, if you follow this series, guys, it's been a really, really weird one when LSU and Florida step foot on the field. I also think LSU's got some questions to answer, man. I mean, the offensive line did not look good last week against Louisiana Tech. Garrett Nussmeier was very so-so right? But I'm also not selling my LSU stock. I think we can't help it, right? But we're prisoners of the moment. We're very reactionary. After week one, LSU's the number one team in the country, and they're going to win it all. After week two, heck, they may never win another game again, right? At least that's what LSU fans were telling me. So I do have LSU winning this football game. I think it's going to be a little bit of a higher scoring game. I think LSU's offense finally going to get going. I think DJ Lagway will play well. I think this Gators team, listen, the one thing you don't have to question with them, they will not quit on Billy Napier. They showed you that last year. They had every reason to fold it up, and they still didn't. So I think this team's going to come out. Actually, I think Florida give you an inspired performance. I don't think it'll be enough. But, guys, one of my best bets of the week was Florida plus 8.5. It's down to 7.5 now. I think this is a 3 to 7 point game, one-score game. Comes down to the wire. LSU wins, but I think Florida is going to keep it close.
Well, since you're making prediction, before we let you go, Chris, I guess tell us, bold prediction, after week 2, going into week 3, who is going to play in the SEC championship? Which 2 teams?
I'm going to go Georgia, Oklahoma.
Ooh, I like it. I like that.
I like what I saw.
Look, we got
this documented
I'm
right
telling you, listen, they got their own version of Diego Pavia out in Norman named John Mateer.
Yeah.
He's a little erratic at times, and that's the big question for them, I think, is, when he goes and plays Texas and he goes throughout an SEC schedule, can he, be efficient, limit the turnovers, not make any silly mistakes? But that kid's a warrior, man. And they've got a defense, too, like really good ball players, but they've got a nastiness and an edge about them. Defense is elite. Offensively, they look better on the offensive line. I think, again, everybody's got stuff to figure out. But if they really get that run game going at a high level, get Jade Knott going, I love what they've got in Deion Burks on the outside, the Connect kid at tight end, Isaiah Satania on the outside at wide receiver, the transfer. I think you could see Oklahoma in the SEC championship. So I like OU Georgia right now, but as you guys know, man, it's going to be an ever-changing thing on a week-in, week-out basis.
That's for sure. We appreciate it. Chris Phillips, you can also go subscribe to the SEC Unfiltered podcast, and you can also go to their YouTube as well. You can also follow him at CPhilly19 on Twitter. Chris, enjoy your weekend on the SECU tour down in Knoxville. So if you guys are out there, make sure you go say hello to Chris. Other than that, we'll talk to you next week.
Appreciate it, Chris.
Blaine, Zach, appreciate the opportunity. Y'all have a great weekend.
No problem. Thanks. When we come back, I don't know. We may have to react to that little Oklahoma, Georgia thing and talk a little bit more SEC. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 105 The Zone. Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Door, 615-737-1045. And join us Monday at Two Rivers Ford, 76 Belinda Parkway in Mount Juliet to find out how you can help fill a Ford with non-perishable food items to help feed our community. It's all part of Ford Motor Company's Global Caring Month and the world's largest food drive. To learn more, visit 1045thezone.com/events or visit tworiversford.com today. I have to say, 615-737-1045, a lot to react to from Chris. He gave some really good insight and everything, but I got to start with this. You know that I was pretty high on John Mateer, but Oklahoma in the SEC championship game against Georgia, oh boy, that was a spicy one.
Did he say Oklahoma or Alabama?
Oklahoma.
Oh, Oklahoma.
Yeah. Yeah. That one was spicy because, I mean, you still got to get through Texas and some of this SEC schedule and Tennessee. I mean, I said the SEC schedule, but Texas is the big rivalry game. And, you know, for me, you know, it's like I understand Arch may not be Arch, but Arch may be Arch by the time the game rolls around. You get what I'm saying? So, like, that one was a good one. That I was not expecting that to be his answer. I was very nervous that he was going to say Alabama, and I was going to have to say, you're crazy.
Well, I was waiting for him to say Tennessee.
Yeah.
After they beat Georgia this weekend.
Hey, could be. You never know.
They beat Georgia. You know everybody will be talking about it going to Georgia.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt. The train won't stop for that. And it shouldn't, to be honest with you.
They're going to start in the field.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No doubt. Ross was in my ear while he was talking, and he said, and I had said something, and you were like, what's going on? And I'm like, nah, don't worry about it. But he told me that it dropped. But he said that Alabama was only favored by 19.5. Well, just like 5 minutes ago, they were favored by 21.5. I'm like, man, it dropped against Wisconsin. And then he's like, no, that was just old. He had to apologize, gave me wrong information. But I had a friend this morning in one of my group chats say, free money, Alabama will cover against Wisconsin. And I go, there ain't nothing about free money in Alabama right now that should be going in the same sentence because Wisconsin has some good pass rushers and their backup quarterback, because everybody's all scared because their starting quarterback's injured, but their backup quarterback has starting history. He's a transfer from New Mexico State, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, crap. Is that where he's from?
Alabama or?
They do play at Alabama. I mean, they're going to win. Maybe. But I said the same thing about Florida State. And listen, I don't know. Let me tell you something. Caden Proctor has not looked good. He has not looked like a first-round tackle.
At home. Since he's been there. Has he lost?
Apparently, they can't hear Blaine through the microphone on the YouTube.
They can't?
They can now.
Okay, they can now. Did the radio just hear me talking to myself?
No,
Jackson hit the elbow
it was just
right
the
there on that
YouTube.
It was just the YouTube. Man, that's your first big screw up.
I know.
Mark it down in your notebook.
Who's?
Ross, he didn't have you on. He only had me talking to
No,
myself.
he was on the radio.
well,
the stream wasn't getting him.
The stream wasn't getting you.
He won't be the last one.
Your light was on. That's why I was like, what's these people talking about?
Turn on Blame Mike.
It's because we had to cut that commercial.
May not want to hear what I have to say.
Yeah. But I'm just not as believing in Alabama right now that they'll cover 21.5.
But at home, what is DeBoer's
They
record?
should win.
What is DeBoer's record at home?
I don't know his full record at home, but I know it's a lot better than when he's on away
road,
game. Because I don't think he's lost a home game.
Ooh, not at all.
think
Okay, that's what I
so.
thought. I knew it was up there.
So they lost to Tennessee on the road. They lost to Oklahoma on the road, and they lost.
Everything
to
was on the
Vandy
road.
Yeah. Everything was on the road.
Lost the bowl game, right?
And then they lost the bowl game, and then they lost to Florida State on the road.
So is that a him problem, or is that more of a player problem?
I would say both.
Is that it?
I would say players tend to take on the personality of their coaches, don't you think?
Well, road and home, it shouldn't be any difference. They should
It
take on
shouldn't
that
be.
same
That was-
personality then.
But I don't think the coach does.
What do you mean when they play on the road?
Yeah, I think he gets scared on the road.
Oh, you really believe that a coach gets scared on the road? Just think about what you literally said. You think a coach gets literally scared on the road?
I think there's a lot of pressure on Kalen DeBoer, and I don't know if he can answer the bell.
Oh, now that's different.
Yeah.
Pressure and scared is two different things.
Yeah. I guess I kind of conflate the two together.
He was
that would make
terrified
more
in front
sense.
of 20,000 in Nashville last year. He was just shaking in his boots at Vandy Stadium.
I mean, that's the
That
way
was
his
full
team
of
looked
Bama
like.
fans.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just saying, Caden Proctor, who is supposed to be one of the best tackle prospects for this upcoming NFL draft, has the last 2 weeks has been playing himself into the second or third round. He has not looked good
What number is he?
whatsoever. I don't.
74?
Yeah, 74.
Yeah,
I don't know numbers,
I gotta pay attention because
Yeah.
when I'm just skimming through games, I just look for numbers.
because he has allowed like 8 pressures, a sack, and all this kind of stuff already through
so
2
he's
games.
worse than Moore Jr.?
No.
What? Speechless?
I mean, he may be a second or third round prospect, and Dan Moore was a fourth round prospect.
Oh, okay.
I mean, right now he has not looked like a first round guy, and that's not good. I mean, oh, by the way, speaking of which, when we come back, because we're about to do a giveaway, but when we come back, I have a correction and retraction from yesterday where I'm going to have to correct something that I said on the radio.
Oh, I thought you were talking about me. I was like, oh, that's a whole bunch
something
of stuff.
that
We
I
may
said.
be here pretty long.
Something that I said because I didn't double check. And so we got to talk about when we come back. But first, there's a giveaway, Ross.
Yes, it's usually Titans Ticket Tuesday, but now it's Titans Ticket Thursday. So as we go to break here, be caller number 5 now to win 2 tickets to see the Titans host the Rams this Sunday at Nissan Stadium. The number 615-737-1045.
There you go. Caller number 5, get tickets to the game coming up at Nissan Stadium. Cam Ward's debut. Free tickets. Caller number 5 now, 615-737-1045.
Can't wait.
This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 1045 The Zone.
Parents, when your teen athlete gets injured, every practice missed matters. Don't let any injury sideline them for the season because guess what? Maybe their dreams will be sidelined. And we don't want that to happen. Introducing the Edge Athlete Recovery Program, a 2-month, twice daily sublingual peptide protocol designed to help your athlete heal faster, recover stronger, and get back on the field safely. Our science-backed peptides BPC 157 and TB 500 support muscle, tendon, and ligament repair with no needles, no downtime, and no hassle. Safe for teens and non-GMO, gluten-free, and easy to take at home. Optional add-ons include M-Scope, functional sessions, and regenerative orthopedic treatments to accelerate recovery even more. So don't wait. Give your athlete the best shot of a full return to the sport and call Edge Peptide right now at 615-724-1878, or you can go to edgepeptide.com to schedule our office consultation today. Edge Peptide Therapy knows every game, every practice means a lot and means every dream matters.
Cover 2, broadcasting live from the 104.5 The Zone Circus Sports Studio. Kentucky's largest sportsbook can now be found at Circus Sports at Kentucky Downs. Blaine Bishop, Zach Lyons, brought to you by all Four Seasons Garage Store, 615-737-1045. The tickets have been won, but we're opening up back the phone lines. If you're calling in for the tickets, it's too late.
Yep.
But if you're calling in to talk to us, we'll answer the phones.
But who won?
Casey Carmine.
Casey
who's won
Carmine.
a decent bit with the Zone, it appears.
Oh, I guess he's a lucky caller, I guess. Lucky caller number 5 has already been picked. But there is a correction and retraction, Blaine. And I have let the listeners down.
You let them down?
I let them down.
Oh, my.
You had brought up a tweet that I had also seen.
Uh-huh.
And it was about Dan Moore's contract.
Oh, the one I said I thought he could get out after 1 year.
After 1 year. And that's what the original tweeter said.
And he can't get out after 1 year.
And I pulled up Spotrac because that's where I go to. And that happened to be where the original tweeter went to. And I didn't do my due diligence and double check their math because, hey, human error exists in the world.
So you just trusted in him?
I trusted Spotrac.
Oh, man.
And Spotrac was wrong. That is the first time they've really let me down in a big way. And they were missing dead money.
Isn't this their job?
That is their job.
That's all they do.
All they do. And someone forgot to do something in their, however their interface works.
I'm going to take you as an athlete now. Are you now going to hesitate every time you see their information and totally go back and fact check it first?
I'm going to have to. Mm-hmm. And usually I do. But on the fly, I just kind of went with it.
You were winging it?
And I was winging it, and that I shouldn't have done that. Now, what they can do is after 2 years, cut him for no dead money.
They
which
can't
is true.
get out of the contract after
2 years. Or there is some dead money. There is going to be $12,000 and gosh, I hate Google Sheets sometimes. $12,750 million in dead money after 2 years, but you are going to save $9,375,000. So 9.4 versus, and you'll carry 12.8 on the books.
So, and the reason why we're talking about this is because he got a grade of 27%. Is that legit too, or do we have to go back and fact check that?
I don't take any PFF grades. I am not a PFF grade guy because here's the thing, Blaine. Here I'm going to tell you what they do.
I'm not either, but I'm.
Here's their process from what I know their process to be. They train people. Okay. They bring them in for like I believe, a 6-week course, maybe a 6-month course or something. One of those. I know it's 6. I just can't remember if it's week or months. Mm-hmm. And they are trained on how to grade. And every player starting out gets a 60. Okay? Mm-hmm. When the game starts. When the game starts, they get 60. And then you give them 1 or 2 points or -1 and -2 points for a negative play, depending on how bad it is, and a positive play, depending on how good it is. And that's how they come up with their grades. And these are interns who are getting paid 5 cents a play. Just want to throw that out there, by the way.
Ross,
From what I've been told.
You did this on the side. That was you.
From what I've been told, it is 5 cents a play.
5 cents a play?
Yeah.
No wonder they get so much wrong, man. If you're paying them cheap, then they ain't that.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, man, come on.
So that's why, there are certain, I don't pay attention to PFF grades.
Yeah. No wonder they were getting them so wrong. I kept on saying, I don't know how they came up with this score. I didn't see that.
Now, advanced metrics are different. But again, we get into the debate of how PFF defines a pressure, which we don't really know, and how Next Gen Stats defines a pressure, which we do know. We don't know how they determine big time throws. Like it gets to a point where some of these things, like Chris Collinsworth is involved in PFF, and there have been former players to teach them things. But this is an ever evolving game. I've seen a lot. We had Brandon Thorne on when you were on, I think on vacation one time, and he's a big offensive line guy. He says, I don't care about PFF grades. And he's one of the most premier offensive lines.
Is it an issue with the linemen, like their grades? Yeah, they've got them.
He doesn't
at all.
He doesn't pay attention to those at all. I've seen like Duke Manyweather, another offensive line guy. I've seen quarterback guys like Ben Kurt and Dan Orlovsky and all these guys say like, these PFF grades, they don't mean anything.
Yep.
And so grades, whenever someone really brings them up, I kind of check out a little bit. And our friend Justin Mello, he was putting tweets out with some PFF grades. I said, well, I'm not retweeting. He'd asked me to retweet them. I said, I'm not retweeting those. They have PFF grades in them. You know I don't like PFF grades.
Yeah, I just don't think they're as accurate. But Moore Jr., reason why we're talking about it, because they gave him a 27%. I said, yeah, he still got an F, but it was a high F. so he got an F plus. You know, he was more in the 58, 9, and not 22. 27 is horrific, and I don't think anybody's done as bad as Twice Daily yet.
Yeah.
Even the guys last year. So I just,
How many times you getting sacks on him? Twice daily.
Yeah, twice, man. He was always giving them up. So, now we're going to get accurate info from here on out.
And that's why, Dan Moore, Mike Herndon, Mike Miracles, who has been on our show too, he just wrote about the offensive line over at PK.com, and he said Dan Moore was bad.
Right.
Now,
he was.
And you agree. I mean, you still gave him an F. Right. You know what I'm saying?
He had a high F.
It wasn't an incomplete. It was just an F.
It was like, no, he wasn't horrific.
Yeah.
I couldn't
Because there were good plays in there.
It was. Yeah, it was. And
I think the problem is that, when you start off at 60, I don't know how I just don't like the PFF grading system, and that's just where it really comes down to.
If I started off at 60, boy, he might have been.
Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? So, is that the correct way to view it?
Yeah,
it probably not. And so, at the same time, but we all know that he did get a failing grade.
Yeah,
there's just no way around it, and that's on the coaches, some too.
No,
and the scouts. I'm just saying.
Oh, you're talking about for signing them.
For signing.
Oh, okay. But now, once you signed him, now it's on him. It's on him. He got to play better.
Yeah,
obviously, he can't be mad that they gave him all that money. He's got to. I don't know. I think he's a little still hurt because he was kicking out there, and they were beating him inside, which was kind of weird. Too. They were beating him on the outside, too. So, yeah, that performance there is hopefully the worst of the year.
It needs to be.
As a person, just as an individual, if I got anything outside of 80-something, I would be a ratchet to deal with the next day. It just wasn't happening.
My thing is that,
you got pride now, man. That's dang, he was good, but nah, he wasn't like that.
Yeah.
You were like, oh man, that was I'm payback. The next guy we play, I'm gonna show.
And that's the thing, right? Because we kind of talked about the physics. Does this offensive line have that physicality mentality you kind of like from your offensive linemen? And I don't know if Dan Moore does yet. At least in a Titans uniform, I haven't seen it. So how do you respond? That is the big thing for this Tennessee Titans team is how do you respond? Last year, they responded poorly to every loss. How do you respond? How do the coaches respond? How do the players respond? And Dan Moore is one of those players we're talking about who needs a rebound. My vote goes to Dan Moore.
Yep, that's where mine.
Because, I think that's the clear choice because you are the franchise $82 million left tackle man. And that was not $82 million franchise left tackle kind of play. Now,
the only part of that was that 282. That 2, it was what he did.
Yeah,
Boy, and that ain't right. Hey, I ain't getting my bang for a buck as own. I'm like, hey man, we got to pick this thing up.
Yeah,
that's kind of what I.
And it's not going to be easy this week, right? You have another defensive line. So how do you respond? Man. Are you going? I feel like Michael Irvin right now. Are you going to answer the bell? What was that clip that he has where he's going crazy? I don't know,
man. Sometimes I'll be watching that thing when he's profusely sweating like something else is going on with this guy.
I got to find that clip and during the break and maybe we could play. But that's that's what I'm wondering about Dan Moore. Can you be physical and impose your will on a better player? Because Jared Verse, Teron Armstead retired and said, I'm so glad I'm retired because I don't have to play against Jared Verse ever again. That is a left tackle that has stonewalled many of pass rushers over his time saying Jared Verse is a dude.
Hey, I'm going to say this, and this is going to make people laugh. I actually fear the Rams defense over the Broncos. Now, I'm not saying that they're better than them. I think they have bigger names, and naturally, Surtain kind of puts them over the top because they got some coverage sacks too. By the way, they got a whole bunch of guys that are good, solid players that are smart football players that play in the secondary. Mm-hmm. and they got the front four that gets after it. They were relentless in this first game versus the Texans. We all know the Texans got a little bit of an issue there up front on the offensive side. And Stroud was running for his life. So, man, this one here, it's just going to be a doozy. Our defense is going to have to, I'm hoping Jeffrey Simmons has one of those 3-sack games again that he had against him, 4 years ago or so, because that's what it's going to take. They have some really good players. I was like, whoa, this one here may be just as difficult, or if not more. Yeah. The offensive side for the Titans, this is going to be a tough task.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah,
and then don't even sleep on, our defense is going to have to.
It's listen, we'll see where Rob Havenstein, the right tackle for the Rams, and Devontae Adams didn't practice, Puka Nacua did.
Yeah, did he?
So Devontae Adams didn't practice, Rob Havenstein didn't practice, Steve Avila didn't practice, and Dotson did not practice, who are their three starting offensive linemen, and Devontae Adams. We'll see how that progresses throughout the week. But if you're missing 3 starting offensive linemen come Sunday and there's no pass rush, then we know that week 1 was alive for this Tennessee Titans defense.
Oh, no, I think it will.
I think there will be. I'm just saying if there's not, then we know that week 1 was a lie.
It's going to be real interesting to see how they're going to stop Big Jeff. I remember, and also I think that came out after we got off air, but Sweat, I think, didn't practice with an ankle, right, for the Titans.
Yeah.
So, man, I'm hoping we have both those dudes, man.
I'm thinking, too, like, I would agree with y'all and give Dan Moore the slight edge if he needs to bounce back the most, but I think there's a very thin line between him and Jarvis this weekend because of who Jarvis is going up against.
Well, let's talk about that when we come back. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone.
Let's talk insurance. King and Associates Insurance. They're independent agents, and that's a big difference. But it goes beyond just having multiple companies to shop, weeding out the non-competitive companies and keeping great relationships with the biggest and best, along with bundling. But unfortunately, life happens, and they get it. Here's a true story about my friend and co-worker that switched from a previous independent agent, got better coverage on his home and its contents, even his automobiles. Flawless communication and a true champion in his corner after his 16-year-old daughter accident, and saved them thousands. And I mean thousands from an independent agent who was overcharging them for years. So you can make the switch and save the same, if not more. But don't make the switch because he did. Switch because you should. As a business, family, or an individual, make the switch to King and Associates Insurance. And I'm sure you have good use of that extra moolah you would have in your pocket. If you want the extra moolah, you need to give them a call. 615-321-8121. That's 321-8121, or online at tkinginsurance.com.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here at 105 The Zone. Were y'all asking what my wingspan was?
Yeah.
The same as Joseph's. It was 67. Oh, so Bert was 68. I was 67-inch wingspan, but I'm also 2 or 3 inches shorter than Joseph. So Joseph's got T-Rex arms. We measured our wingspans for whatever reason.
He got short arms, so he could have been a basketball player.
Taller than both of us, and he's got just an inch more.
There you go. There you go.
Oh, I don't know what my wingspan is.
Yeah. Well, I could probably look it up. You want me to look it up? You
My
got measured
wingspan?
at the combine.
Did my wingspan did?
I probably.
Oh man, they're up there holding your shoulders and everything. I probably was 79. No, I'm just kidding. I had no idea. 72.
You were, they don't have your wingspan listed anywhere.
Yes.
It's hidden.
That's smart,
They deleted
Blaine.
all my
It's
stuff.
hidden.
That's smart.
I can't believe that. They just,
Look at that.
Just disrespect me.
Happy birthday to producer
I
Ross,
know,
by the way.
Yeah, Rossi Ross, man. Birthday. Happy birthday. That's all you get. Bye.
That's it. So we were talking about who's got a rebound.
Well, first of all, we got to ask him. Put him in it. We got to put him in the Lions Den. We got to ask
I
you.
thought that was
That's going to be a
Friday.
new segment. We got to ask you, who is the team you cheer for? That's what you have to tell us on your birthday.
Which sport?
I don't know what team. Who are you a fan of? Who is
Tennessee Titans.
basis?
Tennessee Titans, man.
Oh no, college.
I do
We
not
know
have
you
a
didn't-
college football team.
Well, but tell us where you went to school, and that's why you don't. But like I went to Ball State. I
went to Wheaton College up near Chicago, so I don't have a team
You still
for
cheer
college
for a team.
football. But for basketball, I used to live in North Carolina many years ago, so I'm a big Duke fan.
Okay.
There you go.
He's a basketball guy.
But we were talking about who needs to rebound Tennessee Titans. We have a poll up over at Blaine and Zach on Twitter, and it is L'Jarius Sneed, Dan Moore, Jarvis Brownlee Jr., and Calvin Ridley. And we were talking about Dan Moore Jr., and I was trying to get him hyped. What are you prepared to do about? What are you going to do about it in week 2? About your performance in week 1? And I was referencing Michael Irving. Here's what Michael Irving had to say. I found the clip and I sent it to Ross. So this is my message to Dan Moore using Michael Irving as a mouthpiece.
Oh, we got to put that picture out there.
So listen to everybody. Nobody believes in you. What are you prepared to do about it? Don't let no one come into your house. Take your meal. Do what you need to do today. I'm not nervous. I'm just telling you.
What are you prepared to do about it? Nobody believes in you. Are you going to let him come into your house and take your lunch? What are you prepared to do about it, Dan Moore? That's what I'm going to be looking for this Sunday.
Hilarious, man. No one,
Put that
Mike,
on our
for
soundboard
sure.
so we can reference that.
Tweet that out, man.
I love the end. I'm not nervous. I'm just-
Yeah, I'm not
See how he
nervous.
switched tones and everything? Like he was acting like, let's do this.
What are you prepared to do about it, Dan Moore? And that's the biggest question. That's why he's both mine and Blaine's biggest rebounding or player that needs to rebound the most. You said who before the break? Jarvis Brownlee Jr., right?
Well, I agree with y'all, but I think it's very close between him and Jarvis because of the matchups Jarvis is going to face this week.
Yeah.
You can't be picking up penalties like that.
That is true.
Unfortunately.
These penalties, this is starting to feel more preparedness than it is players. Does that make sense?
After
it's
1 week?
I'm using.
I know it was
last year.
last week. I mean, last year. But
I mean, that's what I got to keep. I got to keep going with the
how many,
data.
they had how many penalties? They had?
11, 13.
13 for 131 yards.
But Blaine, this Jarvis thing to me, it doesn't feel like a preparedness thing. It feels like he has a lack
Yeah,
of
for
trust.
Jarvis is a little bit different.
Yeah,
It
he's
feels like he has a
touchy-feely.
lack of confidence in winning with his feet. And,
Yeah.
and he feels like he can only win
that-
with his hands.
Yeah, that he's a little touchy feely. He gets down there, and that, what causes that is you feel like the guy's getting away from you, even though he's right there. It's just you just start this habit of grabbing it all that time, and you get away with it, and you think you can just keep doing it all the time. So yeah, that's what I used to do. They say you're a safety.
Need to give him some boxing gloves in practice.
He got to stop that. But I'm really nervous with Moore Jr. And as I said earlier, if he doesn't play better, as well as J.C. Latham, I'm assuming is not going to play with hip.
Oof, if J.C.
Man,
Latham's
so
not
now
playing,
we
you might
really
as well
have
just not
two
show.
still bad tackles in a game,
Yeah.
and that makes me think about last year.
Will we get the report today at some point, injury report?
It should get around probably like 5, I
Yeah.
think. I don't know what time it came out last
Hey
night.
man, Watch this. When you see those I know y'all may not see. When you see a big elephant and he hurts his toe or his hip, hey, man, that's hard to. You can't go out there and fake like I can fight through this.
Yeah.
I'm assuming he's not. So let's get prepared. And I sure hope the coaching staff is not only prepared to help one tackle, they may have to help two. Uh-oh.
I'm stumbling over my words a little bit because I watched last year and it didn't feel like they helped any.
Well, they did not.
So why am I to assume they're going to help on this game?
Because I hope they learned from last year. We shall see. And if you only have two people out, guess what? Read those two. If they're not open, throw it at their feet, out of bounds. Just keep it moving.
They may need to put Jeffrey Simmons out there.
Get killed.
Yeah, put Jeffrey Simmons out there.
For another down.
Put Bill Callahan out there.
Oh, now, if you want to say second man, now put Jeff out there. We go get him. We're going to learn a lead draw right after you go get him.
Just got a tweet from Mr. Rising. No J.C. Latham or Tavondre Sweat again today for the Titans.
Oh, man.
See?
It's over. Well, I mean, like, it's over for J.C. Latham playing on Sunday. I don't mean it's over for the Titans. Maybe over for the Titans, but...
this is just sickening versus these good defenses like this, man. Man, I sure hope Cam Ward puts on a whole bunch of Vaseline so they'll just slip off of him.
This is going to help Zach's Defensive Player of the Year pick a lot.
It reminds me of Family Guy where they're trying to chase that man in the pigsty. Never going to get me.
Hey, yeah. What was, by the way, what was Cushionberry's
PFF grade? Okay, hold on.
Hey, man, I saw a couple plays. I was like, hey, I don't want to watch no more of you, man, because it's not good.
Let's see. His pass blocking grade was 37.8 for the pass blocking grade. Now, his efficiency was 97.1, which is that is actually kind of low for the most part. To give you a glimpse, Dan Moore was 94.1.
Oh, okay, got
so that has a little bit. The decimals mean more, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But, what Peter Skoronski was 100.
What was the efficiency actually mean for offensive linemen? Explain that.
For offensive linemen, it's a stat that measures pressures allowed on a per snap basis with the weight being towards a sack allowed. So if you allow a sack, your efficiency is probably going to drop off more than if you allowed pressures. But Lloyd Cushenberry did allow 2 pressures. He allowed a hit in a hurry.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw a couple plays. I was like, what happened?
Well, I know one play he got ran over by, I believe, John Franklin Myers, and it was over.
I was like, hey, this is hard to do to a big human being. Like, hey, man, we need to get this thing together. Everybody has some bad plays, but so I was thinking that was just on occasion. But it looked like it was happening a little bit more than I thought.
Yeah, it was... It wasn't great. I mean, first game back from Achilles, first game action, but you could kind of tell that Zeitler and Cushenberry didn't play in the preseason. I think you could tell. Now, again, maybe we need to play the Michael Irvin clip again where he's like, what are you going to do about it? But like, to be honest, like, okay, you got one game, you got 34 snaps in on pass blocking. I'm sure you got probably, 20 on runs or whatever. We can't have a slow start from those 2 players up the middle against the Rams defense because we can't have a slow start from your right guard and your center and your tackles. Because then you just got Peter Skoronski out there. He's the only one that has looked good.
What did I say was supposed to be the strength of this team?
The offensive line, because that's where the money and the draft picks are spent. And
listen to everybody. Nobody believes in you. What are you prepared to do about it? Don't let no one come into your house, take your meal, do what you need to do today. I'm not nervous. I'm just telling you.
So, I mean, the whole offensive line besides Peter Skoronski failed at different times and failed the young quarterback, and that's supposed to be the strength. Now, listen, a lot of people will look at the positive and say this, Blaine. Well, that was against a really good defensive front by Denver. That's the positive way to look at it. But the realistic way to look at it, there's not many teams on your schedule that don't have a good defensive front. This is the NFL. And teams are going to pick on Dan Moore. And if the rest of your team cannot carry the weight while Dan Moore is the weak link, then you guys are all weak links besides Skoronski at this point. Skoronski's the only offensive lineman, and Latham are the only 2 guys I believe in. And Latham was doing good until the hip injury. Now he's injured. So what will he be?
Well, he won't be out there. I would, if I was making a guess. Man, this is oof. So you got to help whoever plays right tackle, and more. Junior got to show up. He got to show out. He got to do some one-on-one blocking all day long. It just got to happen.
Yeah.
This is going to be an interesting test here at home too. By the way, so the crowd will be packed and hooping and hollering, and then be Cam Ward's first game in the stadium in Nissan. Hopefully, he throws a touchdown and we win.
Yeah, nobody's really mentioned it.
Well,
but you're mentioning it kind of right now. We still haven't seen Cam Ward throw a touchdown pass yet.
Right, that's what I said.
I know.
Cam Ward. Yeah.
We've seen a lot of 3 and outs.
What is the spread?
Last I checked on the spread, let's pull it up real quick.
It's at home, so you get 3 points.
You're supposed to.
You do.
You're supposed to
every game, right?
You're supposed to.
This is why I do not gamble. You get 3 points, and so if it's under 3, that means that they're really the other team is favored in the minus, right?
Oh no, I don't want to tell you. You don't want to know. You don't want to know what the spread is because it's going to make you mad.
Well, they only scored 14 points last week.
The Rams are favored by 5.5.
Oh, that's almost like 8.
That's essentially because you're supposed to get 3 points, right?
So basically, it's the same thing as last week.
Essentially the same. So maybe they'll cover because they'll only lose by. Well, technically that wouldn't work, but you know.
Well, if
5.5,
if they lose, we just got to get excited about.
Home.
I know, but we got to get excited about Cam throwing his first touchdown. We got to be excited about that.
I will say this, and we'll get to Jesse here in just a second. I will say this about this team, is that Cam Ward just gives you hope that they can win almost any game. But at some point, like you said, what did you say off air when you said about some point he's going to?
Oh, throw an interception.
And a team that wins and loses on the margins, they don't have a team right now that feels like they can afford him to throw an interception. He almost has to play perfect.
Yeah, because he didn't throw an interception game. You can equate that to, where he backpedaled and got sacked, but it wasn't a turnover. So if he does have a turnover, which we expect at some point in time, he will, and he even said it. Well, why would I go talk to the receivers and they drop a ball when I'm going to throw an interception? Basically, we're all going to make mistakes. So I got to come back to that guy. I got to throw to that guy.
Yeah.
I got to believe in him. Hey, man, we're not going to be perfect.
This team definitely ain't going to be perfect. Let's go to Jesse in Lewisburg. Jesse, you're on with Blaine and Zach.
Hey, guys, the coach doesn't know the rules. Obviously, everybody's talked about that. He doesn't know how to manage the clock. We saw what happened before the first half where Denver touched the ball and they shouldn't have. The specialty that he was supposed to be bringing with him was this offensive line coach. I get there's injuries and all, but they've invested a lot of money, and we see kind of what's coming down the line. I was wondering who possible future coaching candidates would be if the season goes miserably, like it seems like it's on the way to do. I like Spagnuolo from Kansas City, and Bogdazi has ties. And maybe he could bring somebody offensive with him from over there and keep Denard Wilson. He's doing this thing over there on the defensive side of the ball. But I was just wondering who else y'all had maybe in mind down the line because just the way it sounds on the radio, guys, this story sounds very familiar.
It sure does.
Is coming to town Sunday, and they better get it right real quick. Thank you.
No problem. It sure does, Jesse. It does seem like a big case of deja vu all over again. I like his
12 points.
Yeah, probably worse.
That's worse than 18 last year, right?
I like Spags. I like that suggestion. He was a name that came to my mind when I think about Brian Callahan eventually being fired. I know that's your guy.
So I would love that. Yeah.
My one concern when you have a young quarterback. And a quarterback on his rookie contract,
defensive guy,
is that if you get a defensive guy, if you bring in a play caller, an offensive coordinator that typically gets promoted and gets a head coaching job elsewhere, if he does really well with Cam Ward, that means that you're going to have to replace another offensive coordinator. There's typically a rotation of offensive coordinators when you're a defensive head coach. Now, that hasn't been the case for Sean McDermott because Joe Brady's been there for a while. Joe Brady is the guy that I'd be looking at. the offensive coordinator of the Buffalo
Yeah,
Bills.
Joe Brady, that wasn't his role the whole entire time.
No, he got
switched that
promoted 2 or 3 years
Right,
ago.
yeah,
I
they
think.
switched out a couple years ago. Yeah.
But still, I mean, for him to still be there, I think with the work that he's done with Josh Allen,
no doubt.
pretty impressive. I would also look at Todd Monken. Now, he's a little bit older, but he's very innovative. If you watch his offenses with the Baltimore Ravens, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and some of you guys may remember.
You're talking about OCs. He was asking about the head coach.
Well, OCs I'd promote to head coach.
Right. Yeah. Oh, so this was
Brian Callahan, I'm still on the same thing I was last year. He's likely getting fired after this year. That hasn't changed. I mean, that's just the nature and what history tells us is going to happen here, is that he's eventually going to get fired. I would give another shot to Matt Nagy as well. And that's the kind of the 4 names I would toss around right now. I'm sure I'll find some other names as we go throughout the season that may impress me, but I'm going for cream of the crop.
Have they already put out odds or no?
They have put out. I don't know what the latest
Not for the Titans though. Right?
For NFL coach fired coaching odds.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But also, who would be the lead candidate?
No, they have not done that.
Oh, okay.
They have not done that.
I have not thought about any lead candidates because I'm hoping that does not happen. I haven't even thought about it. So, and even Spags, he had his one shot and then he didn't do so well there with
Brian Callahan has moved up from, I think he was like 9th or 10th earlier in the year in the offseason, moved up to 4th.
Whoa. But Bananas hadn't voted yet. Wait. It's changed. Oh, now it still says 4-1.
There you go. He's Brian Callahan is plus 750 odds, while Mike McDaniel leads the pack with plus 325.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so he's still all right.
I would take that bet.
Well,
I would make some money on Brian Callahan.
If they win this weekend, what then?
Here's what I'm going to give him the same thing. I'm going to do the same thing to Brian Callahan.
Ross said there's no way they're going to win.
I'm going to do the same thing to Brian Callahan that I did to Will Levis. Show me 2 weeks in a row. And I'm not going to treat him differently than I treated Will Levis last year. So Brian Callahan is the Will Levis of head coaches right now.
He's up and down.
He is more down than up for sure.
I got a question for both of y'all with regards to Callahan. And this is assuming that he stays the head coach for the whole season. With this play calling thing, I think everyone realizes he needs to get something taken off his plate. Do you think it's realistic that he gives that up to Nick Holtz? Do you think there's too much ego involved for him to give it up?
I would say with most head coaches, it always feels like there's some level of ego their first go around in doing it. But I think that if at some point, if things do not get better from his instincts, because there's a difference between play design and play calling, which we'll talk about tomorrow. But if his instincts do not get better, he needs to give them up. The problem is, does he give them up to Mike McCoy, who's the senior offensive assistant on staff right now, who has play calling experience? Or do you give it to a new guy like Nick Holtz? Or do you give it to Dad? Do you give it to him? I don't know. Who do you give it to? My choice would be to Mike McCoy. But he's probably, I don't know how ingrained he is into the playbook as much as someone like Nick Holtz. But at this point, if you were to have me rank where I think Brian Callahan is as a play caller, he'd probably be at the bottom. He may be 28th, but he's a lot closer to 32 than top 10, for sure.
All right, I'm giving benefit of doubt. I think they're gonna come back and show some things, get some home cooking.
Yep. All right, we'll see. When we come back, we'll continue talking about the Tennessee Titans. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone.
Tighten up! Legendary coach Lou Holtz once said, before people spend money, they ask 3 questions. Can I trust you? Are you committed to excellence? And do you care about me? Hey, friends, it's Blaine Bishop for Eurofix. And Eurofix has built its business on answering those 3 questions with a bold yes. So back in 1999, owner Aaron Stokes was by himself with a 1-car garage in downtown Franklin. And a few months later, Aaron moved to a shop and then to a barn behind his house so he could stay close to his family while building his dream of offering the best service on European vehicles at below dealer pricing. And fast forward to today, and that barn is long gone, and Eurofix is thriving with 5 locations: Nashville, Franklin, Belmead, Murfreesboro, and now Mount Juliet, with more to come. All work performed comes with a 3-year, 36,000-mile nationwide warranty, plus a free rental car is available with every appointment. So go ahead and ask yourself, can you trust us? Do we care? And are you committed to excellence? And I think you'll say yes to all 3 of those when you see how we treat you. So call and book today at myeurofix.com. Yes, that's myeurofix.com.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Door, 615-737-1045. Last call for phone calls if you want to get in talking about the Tennessee Titans. Happy birthday once again to producer Ross, who is using his birthday as an excuse not to produce Football and Other F Words tonight, 6 p.m. right here on 104.5 The Zone, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook Live.
You also use that to not turn on my mic. See, you said I have control. I can determine what happens around here.
Happy birthday.
That's what you do. That's good.
Okay, update us on the poll results, and we'll close out on the talking about the other two players on this list.
Okay, so Calvin Ridley is the leader in the poll right now, getting 52% of the votes.
What? That is surprising. What is wrong with people?
Because he was crying because he didn't get no balls and they hit his fingers and he had butterfingers.
Second is Dan Moore at 41%.
Yeah.
Followed by Jarvis at 5% and Snead at 2%.
Okay, so let's talk about Calvin Ridley. I mean, he obviously let his, the young quarterback down. There are allegedly, I would say, a strong feeling that on that screenplay down and backed up in your own end zone, he was supposed to be the guy that was supposed to get it, and he went out and blocked.
They called your number, and you didn't even know.
Didn't even know.
Dang. Boy, I told you.
That is wild.
That is, I can't even comprehend it. I really kept my hair on my arm stood up. Like, what? Oh, man, I'm about to get the ball. Oh, my, I can't wait.
Let me ask you a question.
They called a play for me. Oh, and this guy, Sertan, just shout on me all over the place, and I get a free catch? Oh, wait till I get this ball.
Well, let me ask you something, because on that particular play, okay, something I noticed when watching all of Cam Ward snaps is that he was having to get a lot of people in the right
Lined
spots.
up.
Where is that? Why is that? Is that players not paying attention at practice? Is that coaches not really hammering it home?
A combination of things. But here's what I saw a couple times that I'm making a guess.
Okay.
I'm not in the huddle. I think what comes in is he got the play call. He called it to one side as far as the formation.
Yeah.
They break the huddle and realize that what was relayed to him, that's not the way we want to run it to that boundary. So I want to change it to the other side. Or one guy individually just lined up wrong, or you want him in a motion and they didn't clarify it to the actual player. So I think that was a couple things, a couple times, and some of it's just on some ding-dongery going on with the players.
Let me ask you this: we heard that they
kept on saying it was coming in late, right?
Well, so that's what I was about to say. We know that Cam Ward can break a huddle, hear the play call, be able to say it while he's hearing it. They talked about that, right? He was talking crap to Jeffrey Simmons, and then he was able to repeat the play call. Do we think he broke the huddle a little too early because there was a little bit of rush, and he's finishing calling the play?
Do you ever think that they broke the huddle early?
No, but I was just wondering maybe some of these instances or something. I don't know.
I didn't see that.
It's just wild to me that Julius Chestnut had to be told almost every play. Tony Pollard was being moved around. Calvin Ridley, obviously, and I know there was some signaling and some changes there.
Changing plays too at the line, and the running back can't actually hear. Remember now he's leaning down this way. That's why they typically turn around to tell the running back because he can't hear.
Yeah.
And then, by the way, it's noisy with Denver, right? So I think that's what happened. I don't know if that was every time.
So maybe we won't see that this weekend,
right?
Or maybe as much as
our noise would be on our side.
Yeah.
But they got to get the plays in on time
because the Rams are the only team that travels worse than the Tennessee Titans. So there may be 13,000 people in that stadium.
No, I hope there's
there will be a lot for Cam Ward,
Rams.
but I'm just making fun of Titans fans that don't show up.
If they struggle again with the operation this week, it is coaching. 100%.
Because it's Cam Ward didn't struggle with operation from what we have heard, from what we saw. It's everybody else is operation and execution. Which brings me around to Calvin Ridley. I'm a little surprised. I get it that Calvin Ridley dropped some passes. But Dan Moore is probably the biggest culprit out of all these guys to a lot of what went wrong with Cam Ward or with the offense. We're not only talking that, we're talking run plays too. They were running in between the guards and running behind the guards more than they were trying to go outside to the left or outside to the right. And that's where they found success. So, Dan Moore didn't do that well in the run game either. We talk a lot about the passing game, but we hadn't even really talked about that run game yet.
Oh, yeah, well, I was only watching the pass protection, by the way. To be honest, I didn't. He didn't stand out. I maybe missed some blocks or two, but I didn't really. I was watching all his pass and pressures, and so I really didn't watch it. And I still want to say, just, man, you want to get more out of a guy that you kind of invested that kind of money in. You can't play. Like, that's got to be the low bar right there. Sorry. We can't go. Everything from here on out has to go up.
Yeah, you can't. We can't go up, down, all around. No. Like, I mean, that's not what you paid for.
Yeah, and that's what not the starters get paid for anyway. Is the consistency you get. Maybe you don't get elite play, but you get consistent play.
Right. I was told that we'd at least get average play out of Dan Moore by everybody who said that I was too harsh on Dan Moore, and we haven't gotten it for
except
one game.
Against superstar pass rushers. Remember, they did say that.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, I think every team besides Titans has a superstar pass rusher. Maybe Jeffrey Simmons is that guy now, for the Titans. We'll see about that. L'Jarius Sneed, where are you at on expecting L'Jarius Sneed, his pitch count to go up, right? I mean, he felt like he was looking pretty good, but Denard Wilson them said, sometimes you got to protect players from themselves. So what's the truth?
Yeah. So that's telling to me that I wish they would have relayed that. Maybe they didn't, but that, hey, man, we're only going to do so many plays. So we're going to start you off so you can be all lathered up and warmed up. And then after we take you out, probably, maybe we don't put you back in because maybe you reach that count. I don't know if it's wear and tear on his knee or what, but 20 plays or so. But that shows they care a lot about the player because I sure know when I was playing, they were like, hey, you feel good? All right, then, you'll be up.
Yeah.
That was it. So that means that conversation didn't happen because Sneed would have said yes, and they probably knew he was going to say yes.
And he looked pretty good, so that was the other thing. I didn't think he looked, for a guy that hasn't practiced.
I did too.
I was kind of surprised at how good he looked.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, he wasn't shut down corner or anything, but I'm just saying, like, I was a little surprised.
And his condition looked okay.
God, man, that's my thing about it is, like, I feel like he's healthy. He's just not in shape, which, like, that's one of those things. If he feels like he can go a little more, give him a little more.
Because the only way you can get in shape is by being active, right?
I'm right there with you guys on that one. I thought they would say, hey, especially after maybe he wasn't warmed up after halftime, so you let him get warmed up over there.
Yeah.
Then after that, then you say, hey, you got some more. And then they start having injuries. So then I was really like, okay, well, is he going to play?
No, put in Marcus Harris. Like when he did fine against that Marvin Mims ball, but wasn't L'Jarius Sneed going out there when someone got injured?
So they basically said he wasn't playing at all unless they had no other choice.
They had their plan, and they stuck to that rigid plan, is what I think.
Yeah, that's another reason why I don't coach. I changed my plan right in the game.
You got to. Sometimes you got to be adaptable.
You better adapt or you're going to get left behind.
Adapt or die, as they say. All right, this is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 105 The Zone. 3HL's up next, and in the meantime...
And in between...